Filipino culture is a beautiful and complex tapestry. It is woven from many different threads. We see influences from Malay ancestors. We see patterns from Chinese traders. We feel the deep impact of Spanish colonization, and we notice the modern touches from American presence. This mix makes the Philippines unique. It is a place of vibrant fiestas, close family ties, and deep faith. But beneath all this, there is something older, something more primal. It is the soul of the islands, a spirit that lives in the stories we tell. These stories are our myths and legends. These ancient tales are more than just entertainment. They are the windows to our ancestors' world. They explain how the world began. They tell us about the spirits that live in the mountains, forests, and rivers. For centuries, before books were common, these stories were passed down from one generation to the next. Grandparents would gather the children under the moonlight. They would speak of gods, goddesses, and magical creatures. This oral tradition was the first school. It was how young Filipinos learned about their world and their place in it. Imagine a time when the islands were young. The world was full of magic and mystery. The people needed to make sense of everything around them. Why does the sun rise? Why do volcanoes erupt? Why must we respect nature? The myths provided answers. They were the science, religion, and history of the early Filipinos all rolled into one. They gave life to the rustling leaves of the balete tree. They gave a face to the thunder that rolled across the sky. These stories built a bridge between humans and the powerful, unseen forces of nature. This connection to the past is still alive today. You can feel it when you travel to the provinces. You can hear it in the lullabies sung by mothers. The names of our gods, like Bathala, may not be worshipped in churches anymore, but their spirit endures. It lives in our values. It shapes our respect for elders and our deep love for our homeland. To understand the Filipino, you must first listen to the whispers of these old stories. They hold the key to understanding the heart and soul of the archipelago and its people. One of the most important stories is about Bathala. He is the supreme god, the creator of all things. The legend says that in the beginning there was only the sky, the sea, and a sacred bird. The bird grew tired of flying and wanted a place to rest. It made the sea and sky fight. The sea threw waves as high as mountains at the sky. The sky fought back by throwing giant rocks. These rocks became the Philippine Islands. Bathala then came down to this new land. He created the first man and woman from a single stalk of bamboo, giving birth to humanity. Another beloved tale comes from the heart of Mount Makiling. It is the legend of Maria Makiling, a beautiful and kind-hearted goddess. She is the guardian of the mountain. She protects its animals and plants. The stories say she is generous to the people who live nearby. She would leave baskets of fresh fruit and vegetables for the poor. But she had a strict rule. Humans should not be greedy or destroy her forest. When people started to abuse her kindness, cutting down too many trees and hunting animals, she became sad. She hid herself deep within the mountain, and her gifts became rare. We also have stories of terrifying creatures. The Aswang is perhaps the most famous. It is a shape-shifting monster that preys on humans, especially at night. It can look like a beautiful woman by day. But at night, it might turn into a huge dog, a pig, or a bird with leathery wings. The Aswang is a powerful creature of darkness. Stories about it were used to keep children safe indoors after sunset. It represents the fears and anxieties of the community. The tale teaches people to be cautious of strangers and to stay close to the safety of their family and village. These myths are very different from each other. One tells of creation and a powerful god. Another speaks of a gentle goddess who loves nature. A third warns of monsters hiding in the dark. Yet they all serve a purpose. They are not just stories about gods or monsters. They are stories about us. They reflect our deepest beliefs. They show our connection to the world around us. They are a mirror showing the Filipino way of life, our hopes and our fears, passed down through the ages for all to remember. The stories of our ancestors are wise teachers. They are filled with important lessons that guide our culture. The myth of Bathala, the creator god, teaches us about our origins and our place in the universe. It shows that everything from the islands to the people comes from a divine source. This belief fosters a sense of gratitude. It also teaches humility. It reminds us that we are part of a much larger creation. We are not the masters of the world, but its children. This is a fundamental value in Filipino life, a quiet understanding of a higher power. The legend of Maria Makiling speaks directly to our relationship with the environment. She's the very spirit of nature. Her kindness shows that nature will provide for us if we treat it with respect. Her eventual disappointment and withdrawal serve as a powerful warning. The story teaches the value of pakikipagkapwa, not just with other people, but with the world itself. It tells us not to be greedy. We must only take what we need from the forest. This legend is an early form of environmentalism, a lesson that is more important today than ever before. Even the scary stories about the Aswang have a lesson to teach. On the surface, they are meant to frighten children into obedience, but they also teach a deeper lesson about community and trust. The Aswang can look like anyone. It could be a neighbor or a newcomer. This teaches people to be vigilant. It reinforces the importance of knowing your community. It strengthens the bonds within the village, as people must work together to protect themselves from hidden dangers. It is a lesson in social cohesion, disguised as a monster tale. These values are not just abstract ideas. They are woven into the fabric of our daily lives. The respect for a higher power taught by Bathala's story is seen in our faith. The love for nature from Maria Makiling's legend is felt in our provincial towns. The need for community from the Aswang tales is why family and neighborhood ties are so strong. The myths give these values a face and a story. They make them easy to remember and to pass on. They are the roots that nourish the tree of Filipino culture. Our myths are more than just old tales. They are the threads that connect us to our shared history. In a country of over 7,000 islands, with many different languages and traditions, these stories create a common identity. A person from Luzon and a person from Mindanao may have different local customs, but they both know the story of Bathala. They have both heard whispers of the Aswang. These legends become a shared language. They build a bridge across the waters that separate our islands, uniting us under a single cultural sky. This connection extends through time, linking us to generations of ancestors we have never met. When we tell the story of Maria Makiling, we are repeating the same words that our great-grandparents might have heard from their elders. It is a form of communion with the past. It allows us to feel the same wonder, the same fear, and the same moral lessons that have shaped Filipinos for centuries. These stories are a living heritage. They remind us that we are part of a long, unbroken chain of history, a legacy that stretches back into the mists of time. In our modern world, it is easy to forget these old stories. We have movies, video games, and the internet, but losing these myths would mean losing a part of ourselves. It would be like a tree forgetting its roots. The stories hold our cultural DNA. They explain why we are the way we are. They contain a wisdom that modern technology cannot replace. Preserving them is not just about nostalgia. It is about ensuring that future generations of Filipinos can understand their unique identity and draw strength from their rich heritage. Therefore, we must keep telling these tales. We must write them in books, adapt them into plays, and share them with our children. We must celebrate them as the treasures they are. By keeping the legends of Bathala, Maria Makiling, and all the others alive, we keep our culture vibrant, we honor our ancestors, and we ensure that the soul of the Filipino people continues to shine brightly for generations to come. These myths are our inheritance, and it is our sacred duty to be their faithful guardians.